All right, we're going to take a look at comparing and ordering integers. So let's first just consider a normal number line, right? So I've got this number line here with numbers 0 through 8. Now, for example, if we were looking at the number 2 and the number 8, right, we know that 2 obviously is less than 8, right? We could write 2 is less than 8. And we know that anything to the left of another number is less than that number when we're looking at a number line, right? So for example, if we were looking still at 8 here, we know that anything left of 8 is less than 8. So 7 is less than 8, 6, 5, 4, all of those numbers are less than 8 because they are to the left of it. And similarly, anything to the right of a number we know to be greater than that. So for example, this 4 here, we know that 4 is greater than 2 because it is to the right of 2. So let's go ahead and apply that same thinking to integers, right? So just knowing something to the left of another number is less than and something to the right is greater than, we could compare, for example, -2 and 1. And since -2 is to the left of 1, we know that -2 is less than 1. Okay, so just as before, anything to the left of a number will be less than, and anything to the right will be greater than. And just like as we move to the right on a number line, numbers get greater and greater and greater, right? So from 0 up past 5, we'd have 6, 7, 8, 9, increasing and getting larger or greater. And the opposite is true with integers as we move to the left. So even as these numbers get larger, right, -6 is less than -5. -7 is less than -6. And the farther to the left that we move, the smaller or the lesser that those numbers become. So let's look at another example. So anytime you want to compare or order integers, you could plot them on a graph, or you could even just become familiar with the fact that, okay, the farther to the left it gets, the farther away from 0 to the left, right, moving this direction, it's less than, and the farther it moves to the right is greater. So for example, if we wanted to compare -3 and -1, again, we see that -3 is farther to the left, so -3 is going to be less than -1. Okay, and if we wanted to also add in a few other numbers, right, so now we're comparing or we're ordering from least to greatest these 4 numbers, and we can just see they're written in that order from left to right. So -3, -1, 1, and 2. And these would be these 4 digits from least to greatest. Okay, let's try one more of those. So if we wanted to compare, let's say, 3, -4, 2, and 0, again, we can graph those on our number line. So here's 3, here's -4, here's 2, and here's 0. So if we wanted to write those from least to greatest, that would just be -4, 0, 2, and 3. Now again, this is something you can also do without graphing. So if we wanted to compare, for example, -5 and -3, okay, again, you could picture your number line, or as we know, any number as it gets farther to the left away from 0, right? Negative numbers, the larger that number itself gets, the smaller it will be, the farther away from 0 it is. So -5 is farther to the left from -3, so -5 is less than -3. Okay, so let's try another one of those. Go ahead and see if you could do this on your own. We'll do -12 and 4. Okay, so we know that any negative number is always going to be less than a positive number, so -12 is less than 4. So this is just a quick look at how you can compare and order integers.